The age-old question, which one's better, trail running shoes or hiking boots? We're going to talk about that right now. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to start doing a series called Minute Muses, and that's where I kind of just sit outside and talk to you about something I've been thinking about recently. Today, I'm going to talk about trail running shoes versus hiking boots, because which one is better? I'm going to go over like the pros and cons, sort of my history with each of them and what I've experienced with them, and then I'm going to talk about price points because I think that's actually not talked about enough, and how much each shoe costs and maybe how long it lasts, and then give you my general opinion on the whole shebang. So the shoes I'm going to be talking about specifically today are my Salomon Sense Pro Max shoes. I actually think they have been discontinued since I got them, but they have a whole Sense series. And then my hiking boots are just the very basic Merrell hiking boot. It's like the most common beginner hiking boot. So first off is durability. So naturally something that's, kind of more flexible like this isn't going to be as durable as something like this. Like, look at that, come on. You're probably gonna have to replace your trail shoes more often than you're gonna have to replace your hiking boots. I mean, look at this bad boy, like, thick. That's what I'm talking about. The most common thing with trail runners versus hiking boots are their weight. Trail running shoes are naturally a lot lighter compared to this. There's a nice thick rubbery toe, and it really helps you from stubbing your toes or something while you're hiking. If you trip a lot, these might be good for you because they protect your feet a lot more, but naturally that means they are heavier. I mean, if you just look at them, yeah, it makes sense. Sort of going alongside the weight of these are breathability. So trail running shoes are naturally made to be run in, and often when you're running you have to run through creeks or puddles, and they have a mesh upper. Your feet dry out faster, the shoe dries out faster. These are just a little more breathable. One important thing to mention is support. So I would say trail runners tend to be less supportive. They make up for it in sort of their responsiveness. If you trip or sort of turn your foot the wrong way, you can respond a lot faster in trail runners compared to hiking boots, where, this is naturally a lot taller and a lot more stable for your ankle. You're gonna have more stabilization in your hiking boot. And sometimes you can get hiking boots that go even taller, so they're even more supportive, but you have less responsiveness in your hiking boot. Probably less important are the looks. There are very clear differences here. This is very bright, very loud. This is very toned down and natural colored. Some trail running shoes do come in some more neutral colors like black or white, but a lot of them are kind of loud. If that's a really important consideration for you, you might want to consider getting a hiking boot. They are often more natural colored, brown, green, dark green, and last but not least, traction of the actual shoes. For me personally, it feels less sticky. Like if I'm going down a steep incline that's rock or gravel or something, I feel like I have less grip in my trail shoes than I do with my hiking boots. And you can kind of look at the differences in tread here. That's just how I feel. My boo kind of feels differently. He thinks he gets more traction with his trail running shoe. He is wearing the Saucony Peregrines, so maybe it's a brand difference or something. I don't know which one's better here. I've had my trail running shoes for almost a year now. I've trail run in them, I've hiked in them. Sometimes the trail requires a little bit of walking on sidewalks or something to get to. I have not backpacked in these bad boys. I don't really have enough information on that to share with you yet, but if I was being honest, I want to backpack in these shoes the next time we go backpacking. I really like hiking in these. They're really, really good for me. On the other hand, I have done a lot in these hiking boots. I've had them for, probably 8 years now. I've done field work in them, especially around Texas. You want a good shoe to walk around in the sticks and brushes with. There are cacti around here and they can poke you. The trip I've been on, I have worn these. I have probably generally more experience in these, but I've had them for longer. I think one thing that isn't really discussed that much, but is really important, is the price point of these shoes. I got these trail shoes for, I don't know, 130 bucks, I think, and that's generally pretty normal for a trail running shoe. Oh, it's getting toasty out here. Probably range between 130 and 180. I've had these for almost a year now. If I keep using them the way I've been using them, I would say I might need to buy another in another year, maybe less. They were $130, that's about $65 a year, which, you know, isn't too bad for a hobby, honestly. A lot more expensive compared to the hiking boot. Hiking boots can be a little more expensive. They probably range more like 130 to 220. And that kind of varies depending on if they're water resistant or waterproof and how tall this ankle is. This bad boy is probably $140. Had them for 8 years. Let's say they last me 2 more. That's $14 a year compared to $65 a year. You know, if you're playing the long game and you don't have that much to spend, it might just be better to go with the boot. Generally, I would say this is honestly just a bunch of personal preferences. If you feel like you need a lot of stability, go for a hiking boot. If you feel like you want to move fast and you want to be light on your feet, go with a trail runner. If you don't care, flip a coin. In the end, these are basically just my opinions based on 2 pairs of shoes. If you have any thoughts or ideas or comments to add to this discussion, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear more about what y'all think. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and if you want more of my content in the future, feel free to subscribe. And thanks for watching. Now go get some shoes.